It's Juan Gotti here. Have you ever wanted to ask me a question? Share your opinion on a specific topic, but you never had the place to? Well, now you do, as I will be starting up a new series that will be airing weekly where you can ask me all of the type of questions that you want in regards to the Commanders, the NFL, or just the whole entire sports world. You can email me now at juangottibusiness@gmail.com all of your questions. And once we get enough feedback, the first episode will be airing. Again, you'll have the opportunity to ask me any kind of questions that you want. Hey Juan, what do you think about this player? Hey Juan, what do you think about this coach? Or my Commanders fans out there, hey Juan, what do you think about the sale? This is my opinion on it. What do you think? You now have the opportunity to do that. I would take full advantage of that if I was you out there. Hit my email up now at juangottibusiness@gmail.com with your questions. Again, that's juangottibusiness@gmail.com with your questions. Wait a minute girl, can you slow down? Wait a minute girl, what's the rush now? I wanna introduce myself to you. My name is one-on-one guy, you prefer now. I like the way you put your fists together. I like the way you do your hair in the morning. I see why all the boys want you, girl. YouTube, what's going on? It's Juan Gotti here. We another Washington Commanders video, and in today's video, I wanted to come on here to address Antonio Gibson and the hate that he receives from this fan base, man. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. But before we do, make sure you guys go down below, leave a like on this video, subscribe if you're new, and turn on post notifications so you get notified when I upload a video about the NFL, or in this case our Washington Commanders. We're on the road to 6,000 subscribers, so please hit that subscribe button again if you haven't already. Thank you so much. Let's get straight into today's video. So every single year since we have had Antonio Gibson, probably besides his 2020 year when he was just that guy, everybody, you know, was a fan of him. Every other season after that, the disrespect for Antonio Gibson has been crazy. Like, a lot of people look down on Antonio Gibson as if he's just this scrub and he's just this guy that you can easily replace, and he just isn't a viable option of this offense, man. A lot of people are not fond of Antonio Gibson, and that's due to the fumbling issues, right? That's the first thing people want to look to when it comes to Antonio Gibson and the fumbling problem that he had, right? Let me go ahead and look up his stats from last year for you guys, just to prove to you that Antonio Gibson is still one of the best weapons we have on this offense. And due to our last offensive coordinator lack of creativity and usage of Antonio Gibson the proper way, he wasn't able to put on display what we drafted him to actually do. We did not draft Antonio Gibson to be a bell cow. We didn't draft him to be a pure running back, you know, taking on 25 to 35 carries a game. That's not what Antonio Gibson was supposed to do. However, when he was thrusted into that role, he performed well. That's why when we drafted Brian Robinson, I did not like the pick, because to me, Antonio Gibson is capable of being that running back one, being that guy that can, you know, take 25 to 30 carries if he has to. And he proved that multiple times, even before Brian Robinson was here. He proved that. But drafting Brian Robinson was supposed to allow Antonio Gibson to be what we actually drafted him to be, which was to be a running back, a guy that can, you know, pass, catch, line up in the slot, go out wide, play receiver. Because remember, Antonio Gibson coming out of Memphis was a converted wide receiver to running back. So he was supposed to be doing everything for us. And that's the reason why Scott Turner drafted him. But Scott Turner never used him like that. Like, I don't even remember. I would say probably a couple times, or probably like 2 times. The Jaguars game is one that comes to mind when he actually used Antonio Gibson as that guy that we drafted him to be. And when he's playing like that, he is unstoppable. He is a force to be reckoned with. And even still, man, being if he was to only be a bell cow, be a every down back, he's still going to be almost an 1,000-yard back, if not that. So the guy is really good. And I said this yesterday. I said, I am of the new philosophy of you don't need to pay running backs. But guys like Antonio Gibson is the only kind of running backs I would pay. Antonio Gibson, Austin Eckler, the Christian McCaffreys. These guys of the world that provide so much more than just being able to be a running back. Those are the kind of guys I would pay. So I personally don't know if Washington's going to pay Antonio Gibson. He's on the last year of his deal. But if we were, I would not be mad at it at all, because he is a guy that provides so much of this offense. And now being able to have an offensive mind like Eric Bieniemy, who is actually going to be able to tap into that creative side and actually see what Antonio Gibson really can do, he is going to be in for a big year. To me, I truly believe that. But let me look at his stats. Okay, in 2020, obviously we know he put up the 795 yards, but he had 11 touchdowns. That was the year he went crazy. Then he followed up that year with putting up 1,037 rushing yards for 7 touchdowns, averaging 4 yards a carry. And that is not even, I'm not even mentioning the pass catches that he had, the passing touchdowns, and all of that. So, in 2022, he had 546 yards for 3 touchdowns. This is on the ground. And Antonio Gibson also had about 353 receiving yards last year and 2 receiving touchdowns, bringing his total yardage to about 900 total yards of scrimmage last year. And again, his role decreased, and he also missed a couple games. So Antonio Gibson is still really, really good. Okay, and I just wanted to get that through a lot of you all's heads, because since drafting Brian Robinson, it feels like y'all think, like, not all of y'all, of course, but some of y'all think it has to be a competition, as if these two aren't on the same team. That's not the case at all. You know, you can love both of these guys, like you can, because they're all on the same team competing for a championship. So, you don't have to be a Brian Robinson fan, and you don't have to dislike Antonio Gibson. You don't have to be an Antonio Gibson fan and dislike Brian Robinson. I just want you all to stop disrespecting. And again, it's not all of you. It's some people out there that are disrespecting Antonio Gibson as if he's not a viable option to this offense. Like he isn't important. Okay, and then especially with him now taking over the J.D. McKissick role, according to Ron Rivera, he's going to become even more important to this offense. Because, again, and J.D. McKissick, he did everything for us, okay? He was a guy that was obviously a pass-catching third down back, okay, for the most part. But as he got more comfortable, as he got more, you know, into the playbook when he first got here and stuff like that, and got more comfortable, he starts to become more than that. And yet injuries played a factor into, you know, Antonio Gibson with the toe and all that. He had to get more opportunities. But you saw that J.D. McKissick did everything for us: running, pass catching. He pass blocked. He was probably our best pass blocker we had on the roster. And again, it was crazy because, you know, in 2021 he was one of our top receivers, like you know, in receptions and stuff like that as a running back. So try to think what J.D. McKissick did for this offense, but on a much more broader scale, because times what he did by 100, because Antonio Gibson is going to get way more action than him. You know, and again, I'm just more so excited to see how Eric Bieniemy cooks up with Antonio Gibson. Okay, AG is a stud, bro. He is probably one of the only few running backs that I would consider paying because of how versatile he is. And I think he's going to be in for a big year. Okay, everyone wants to talk about Montez Sweat, which rightfully so. I think he's going to also play with the chip on his shoulder because he wants to get paid. But Antonio Gibson is the same, okay, bro? He's a third-round pick in 2020, so he doesn't have that fifth-year option like a first-round pick. So he is on a contract year, and he's going to be trying to pay to get played. He's going to be playing to get paid. And whether it's from Washington or whatever, he's going to be playing to show what he can do at the, and deserving the next contract. So, hey, AG, bro, I've been a fan of you since you came here, okay? And I know how good you can be. I know how good the potential is still inside of you. To me, what Antonio Gibson has shown, he still barely scratched the surface, in my opinion, okay? Because he was in a box, right? Scott Turner, again, said he drafted him because of the versatility that he provided, but rarely showed that. Rarely showed that. So now going from a guy that didn't show what you can do to now a guy that thrives on that, I feel like the potential is unmatched. Antonio Gibson is, again, going to be one of the guys, if not the guy, that benefits the most of the hire of Eric Bieniemy. I think AG may be in for his best year yet. All he got to do is stay healthy. And all the people that want to talk about the fumbling, he only had one fumble last season, if I remember correctly, and he did not, and we did not lose it. So all the issues I want to harp on him fumbling, he cut it down. He cut it down, man. So AG, continue to work, continue to get better. I'm behind you. I know there are a lot of fans out there in this fan base that are also behind you. Go out there and ball this season, my dog, and go get paid. So let me know what you guys think about this video in the comment section down below. How do you feel about the Antonio Gibson disrespect? Leave your comments, thoughts, and opinions down below. I will be going live tomorrow on the channel at 7 p.m. with Pedro, with Jairus, with Tim, and with Protect. And we'll be doing a live 4-7 round Commanders mock draft. So see you guys over there. Like, comment, subscribe. We're on the road to 6,000 subscribers. See you guys tomorrow. Peace. Cross me one time, that's gonna get you pop. Get you poppin'.